So let's create this realistic watermelon in Infinite Painter. So let's start. First of all, change the background color black. Now select the MONOLINE brush from the calligraphy and use the green color. And the brush size should be at around 50% and create an oval at the left side of the canvas and fill the color in it. Now of course you have to change the shape a little bit using the wrap tool if you wanted to. Using the distort tool you can decrease and increase the length of the sides of that shape. And using the basic tool you can increase and decrease the size of it. Now add a new layer and using the same brush with the red color draw a slant line like this. And then draw the curve to complete the shape. And fill the color in it. Now increase the size using the wrap tool again. This time use the basic one. That's it. Now add a new layer and clip it to that layer. Now use the white color for creating a white line at the curve of the watermelon. And of course you can also use the medium airbrush from the sprayers for more grainy look to it. Now add a normal layer, not the clipped one, and move it below that red layer. This time again use the MONOLINE brush with the green color for creating the shape of the watermelon slice. And don't forget to close the shape as we have to fill the color in it. And of course you can erase it using the same brush if you wanted to. Now add a new layer and clip it to that first layer that we have created. And create an oval shape on the left side of that shape. And fill the color in it. Now onto the new layer we are going to create a stem coming out from that circle. And also fill the color in it. Now this is just a reference and we are gonna delete this oval shape after we have done all the work in it. Now start creating these wiggly lines on top of watermelon as we have seen on watermelons. And don't forget to close the shape because we have to fill the color in it. Now draw these shapes all over the watermelon. Now delete that first oval shape that we have created on it. Now go to the liquify tool and with the first option slide it to around 3 to 4% and use it on top of these shapes so that we get these natural spikes on it. Now select the soft airbrush from the sprayers and use the green color. Use more darker version of it as we move to the bottom. And at the last use the complete black color. As the light is coming from the upper direction, we're gonna use some white on it. Just a little, not too much. Now add a new layer below that spiked shapes and use some white color there too. And on top of it too. You can of course decrease the opacity if you think that it's too much. Now go through the brushes and use the coarse charcoal brush from charcoals and use the dark green color on top of it so that we can create some roughness on top of that shape. Now tap on that spikes layer and select the option select, and you can also see that red button out in the left corner. Now use some black on it and some green too. Now tap on that red dot so that you can turn it off. Now similarly do that process on top of the stem too, using the same brush with the white color. And use some yellow color and dark yellow color on top of it. And you can download the color palette of course from the link in the description. And that's it. Now onto the new layer, use some white on top of the watermelon and erase it using the same brush so we can create some subtle lighting on top of it. Now merge all the clipped layers into one by just tapping on it and click on the merge button. Now clip a new layer on top of that smaller green shape and use the coarse charcoal brush again for creating more darker and darker green color in the bottom of the shape. And use black at the bottom. Now use some light green on top of it and keep the brush size at around 20% and create a curved lines like this and use it at the corners at the right side too. Now merge that clip layer. Now using the same brush again and select the dark red color for creating some shadows on top of that red layer. Don't forget to clip the layer on top of that layer so that whatever we are drawing will only stays on that layer. Keep size at around 12 to 20% and create a curve like this. Now use more darker red color at the bottom of it. Now use some white color too with the minimum opacity possible and a little bit on top of it. Now keep the maximum size of that brush and use it at the corner using the white color so that we can create some roughness on top of it. Now use green too at the corner. Now merge that clip layer and we are done. Now we are gonna draw some seeds on top of it. So add a new layer and go to the brushes and select the MONOLINE brush from the calligraphy and select the size at around 12%. And use the black color for creating the seeds. You can zoom it in for having more accuracy. And it's totally random, just draw in a curved row like this. It shouldn't be too big and it can be too small if you want to. Now use the soft airbrush for creating some darkness in the bottom layer of it. Now if you are done with it, clip a new layer on top of black seeds layer and use the white color using the soft airbrush from the spears for creating some of the lightning on top of it. This is just the extra detail. If you don't wanna do it, just don't do it. Just skip it. Okay, now merge that clip layer too. Now add a new layer and drag it to the bottom of that seeds layer and use the dark red color for creating some darkness behind that. Use soft airbrush from the spears for doing it and keep the opacity at around 60%. Now merge all the layers into one. Now use the coarse charcoal brush from the charcoals for erasing some part of it at the top side, so that we can create some transparency at the top side of the watermelon. Now merge those two layers too. Now tap on it and click to the duplicate and select the bottom layer and use the wrap tool for making it upside down using the rotate tool, and then tap on the mirror tool from there and drag it to the bottom. Now decrease the opacity to around 80% and erase it using the soft airbrush from the sprayers. Use it a little bit at the bottom so that we can create some darkness out there. And that's it. Now merge all the layers into one and we're done. And if you enjoyed the video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.